Hi Fox, how you doing? The same day here on July, the ACP Golden Classic tournament started in Italy. In Germany, another very strong tournament has started in Dortmund. We have the Sparkassen chess meeting, in which basically we have basically the strongest German players like Georg Meier, Kadinaidic, etc., playing with all together with very top GMs like Vladimir Kramnik, Caruana, Peter Leko, and Mickey Adams from England. Well, from the first round, I chose the game between Vlad Kramnik and Georg Meier, and with obvious reasons, as you will see very soon, because this was the most interesting game of the round, and really a strange one, complex game. Well, Kramnik was white here. He plays the English opening, c4. We have the symmetrical English. Kramnik plays g3, knight c6, very classical developing moves. d5, very trendy these days, it seems. We saw this move lots of times in Norway Chess 2014. We also saw this yesterday in the first round of that tournament in Italy. Nepomniachtchi played in this way against the English, so it seems to be trendy these days to play d5 early against the English. Well, almost always you will see players taking there, and now knight c3 and very classical development goes on. But here, after d5, Kramnik chose another move. He went on to castle. And okay, black has options here to play e5, to play whatever he wants, or with his central pawns. He could even try to take, I guess. But the most principled way it seems to keep pushing this pawn, grab space in the center. And okay, this is not bad for white. I mean, it's another way of playing, and as almost always, Kramnik has experience playing this line, and with white pieces. And this time he had always played e3 in this position against players like Caruana and Andy Vanchuk, not having bad results at all. The game with e3 would always continue with a variation like this. Now d3, black would put bishop on e7, bishop f4, black castled, an exchange of knights here. And okay, this seems to be a well-known theoretical position. But this time, after d4, Kramnik plays almost a novelty. I mean, there are a couple of games in my database by not that strong players. Kramnik plays a3. Well, seems a little strange. He would like to try to play b4, it seems, but Georg Meier just keeps playing in classical way, taking all the center he is allowed to with e5. Now, of course, e4 would be some threat, somehow dangerous. Kramnik plays d3. a5 is taking b4 under heavy control with both pawns, the knight, the bishop, so b4 wouldn't be possible to play in a very long future. So Kramnik tries e4 here. Kind of a blockading move, closing the center. Of course, black has the possibility to take en passant here, after which I guess bishop takes e3 would be played, the knight would go to c3 with a position. I mean, black has a couple of nice looking pawns on the center, but it's not bad. It seems not very bad for white. But instead, after e4, Meier keeps developing bishop e7. Now knight e1, with the idea to try something f4. If not, what is white going to do? He doesn't have any other pawn breakthroughs. But against this, having the center under control, Meier reacts in a very classical way, counter-attacking on the flank, h5, arguing that white's king may be weak here, castled, and this rook could be an important piece. f4, h4, already quite a sharp position. Kramnik decides here to close even with f5. And now after h takes, I think it is clear that black must be better here, because white's king all of a sudden is exposed. This king side seems really a little weakened. And apart from that, I mean, this white chain of pawns seems good, but it's not really doing that much. Black also has lots of central control, and I think white, it is not clear what white is trying to do, what will be his plan. So Meier keeps trying to open lines, because the main motive of this position must be the security of white king. g6. Kramnik develops a piece, g takes, e takes, and rook g8, putting pressure on the g3 pawn. Queen f3. The German player keeps developing. Now rook f2, and really white's position looks bizarre. Uh, I'm not sure what went wrong with this opening preparation, but I'm sure this is not what Kramnik was intending to play. Queen b6. Black keeps developing pieces, although the position is a little bit close in the center. Developing is always very healthy. Rook e2, and black castles long. And just look at this. White's pieces are, I mean, not coordinated. White king is really weak. White has tons of weaknesses here. Rather chaotic position. What is Kramnik's plan? I'm not sure. He has lots of weaknesses and almost no coordination at all. He puts the knight on e4, but the queen goes on b3, and the knight goes back to f2. I mean, if, let us say, if white plays something like a4, just a move, just a wasting time move, black could try to take on e4, and if d takes, apart from the fact that white is allowing a very strong passed pawn, connected passed pawn here on the d file, white would be losing a pawn with rook takes g3. Now both rook and queen defend themselves with the queen in between. So this wouldn't be very nice for white. So after queen b3, as I said, Kramnik goes back with the knight, basically trying to hold the position, because black must be absolutely much better here. Meier keeps putting winning space, in this case on the queen side, a4. Bishop h6, not sure what the plan of this move is, but just to develop a piece, just to get out with a piece. After bishop f8, they exchange those pieces. Rook takes, and now g4. Rook g7, fairly simple idea to double up rooks in this very important g file. Knight d4, there is an attack on c5, the knight is under attack, so it must be taken. Queen takes, and rook fg8. Very simple. Bishop f3, g4 must be defended, and f6, fixing this weakness on g4. Now rook g2, and the knight is going to be relocated through f7, either to g5 or d6 to be much more useful piece. Queen back to e2. Now bishop c6, removing a strong defender of the white king side. So bishop takes, pawn takes, queen e4, attacking c6, but black keeps calm. King c7 defends. Knight f3, and now, as I mentioned, knight to f7. And after rook f1, we have this knight going to d6, attacking the queen. Queen to e2, and finally the position starts to go down. White is losing lots of pawns here. Of course, the first one is the g4 pawn. Rook f to f2, but now black takes yet a second pawn on f5. Knight to d2, attacking, but rook takes, all rooks are exchanged here. King takes, and now Georg Meier takes a third pawn. Position really looks desperate for white after all the piece exchange. Black is up 3 pawns, and white has not compensation for these 3 pawns at all. Black king queen is very active. White just plays king f3. Now knight d6 to get these pawns going, I guess. Queen h2. Kramnik desperately tries to get into the position of black king and try to give him some checks or something. Meier keeps cool. He takes a 4th pawn, attacks a 5th one, king e2, queen back to b2 with a very simple plan to promote the a pawn. Queen a7 check, king b6. Now Kramnik goes to e7, trying to check on the dark squares, but whenever you have a knight near your king, it's like a classical rule, you will never be checkmated. The knight will be able to defend your king very well. And that's what happens here after king b7. d8 is under control, no more checks, and having being 4 pawns down, Kramnik just resigned the game. Really an astonishing game. Everything went wrong for Vladimir Kramnik right out from the opening, and quite a crashing victory for Georg Meier with black pieces against former world champion. Let us see how things develop through the rest of the tournament, hoping to see more fighting chess. Thanks for watching.